Boy, that escalated quickly.
Are you guys sick and tired of seeing me? I mean, I'm assuming if you follow me, you follow Jess. So it's like twice a day you're seeing this face. I didn't think this through. I did not think this rebrand week through well enough. You poor souls. Can you hear me? I'm assuming you can hear me. So in addition to this second live stream of the day, I have been participating in a practice lately of listening to X and going to spaces. And I'm realizing that when I'm listening, I'm now being asked to be a speaker. It's mostly Kane. And yesterday, it was KC, Kira, who started a spaces and invited me. That spaces turned out to be a really bad decision. I talked about it this morning. Stayed up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern. Baja Blast. Reminders of Jess are everywhere. It's time for her to come home. So anyways, about the spaces, 2 a.m., I think I got 3 hours of sleep. I started to crash today around 5, tried to take a nap. Couldn't take a nap. So we'll see how long I make it through this. But anyways, so while I was on this spaces, I hear that there's certain rules over there, like regarding privacy and shit. Things you shouldn't say for risk of getting doxxed. I mean, I realize that Twitter X is like a cesspool. I get it. I just don't understand. I mean, why do people hide behind anonymous accounts or whatever? You know, like being called moons and not having a in real life photo, which actually, by the way, I would like to have, but I'm too picky. I can't pick one. But anyways, is it like, I mean, I get it that some people, obviously like that guy from last night, he was a teacher. So you don't, you know, I guess you don't want to expose your bad behavior because you're a teacher. But if you're going to be a teacher, should you be accountable for your bad behavior on social media? Should you not be posting certain things? I don't know. It's just a thought. So day 4, guest producer for Jess Machado. It's going well. I'm ready for her to come home. Not because I'm, tired of it. I'm having a lot of fun. Love Maggie. Tomorrow is actually going to be a big day. J7 and Kane, I believe, were scheduled. I got a note that there might be a slight change, but at least we still have guest co-hosts, so that's a good thing. We'll see. We'll see how that, pans out. But anyways, and I guess that me being guest producer, acting producer, whatever you want to call it, is really triggering some people. I think I've been mentioned on Turtle Boy Live by Aiden, Jolene Lunzer, Roasted. I don't know. Maybe some others. But it triggers a lot of people. And first it was the wig, totally blew up the internet. And then yesterday, the DM to KP blew up the internet again. Oh, so let me show you this. So I'm not well versed in Twitter X, so you guys will have to tell me. So when you go to your page and you go to today's news, or I don't know, well, this is for you. Here at the bottom, podcasters producer invites Kate Peter amid Turtle Boy feud. I know I've seen Jess on the headlines, or I don't even know what it is. It's over on the side. I'm usually on my PC, And so it's over on the side, and it's almost like your news headlines or whatever. I've seen her there. This was, I think, today. Was this today? I think it was today. Podcasters producer invites Kate Peter amid Turtle Boy feud. Am I big time? So this is on Twitter. This is on X. I'm assuming this is headline news. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's all curated for us, right? Like for our algorithm. I'm sure this isn't showing up for Trump or whoever is oh, Trump doesn't go to X, I guess. Elon. I'm sure this isn't his headline, right? Yeah, Susie, we're embracing it. We are taking up their headspace. But I got a little tickle out of this. I thought that was cool. So, but anyways, thank you to the sweet soul who screenshotted that and sent it to me. I can't exactly reveal who that was because people get triggered. But you could probably figure it out pretty easily. People are so sensitive. Like, I don't get it. It's not that serious. But anyways, if you missed my response to the KP message yesterday, I did go over that message on J7's stream yesterday. So it's the live previous to this one. You can go back and watch it on replay and sort of hear what we had to say about it. But I guess some people like didn't read the message and they just assumed that I sent that message on my own. I don't know. Like the part where it says Jess asked me to reach out to you. I saw like a post or a comment that said, "Who's going to get it the worst when Jess gets back?" And in big capital letters, it was like Moons. Like, I'm going to get a scolding or a spanking? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I know why you guys are here. You don't want to hear me babble. I know why you're here. My guest is backstage. We can move right along and reveal this very special person. Who do you guys think it is? What's your guess? What is your guess? Somebody asked for clues today, and I sent clues, and they still couldn't guess. I'm starting to think that maybe some people aren't watching or they're not listening carefully. Kane? So who are your guesses? Oh gosh, Oceans. Freddie Lynn. Spicy Misty. Boat. Oh, that's a good one. Fairy Godmother Linda. Interesting. It's not Fairy Godmother Linda, but that would be an interesting interview, wouldn't it? Abby. Jake. Oh gosh. Somebody's dad. Anyways. All right, well, let's just move this along. You guys are dying to know. I do know that this person has put a great deal of attention, heart, and time into preparation. I think there was a few times where I thought they were going to cancel. Their nerves might be a little high right now. So pick your favorite emoji, a heart or something, spam it in the chat. show her some love. I did just say her. And we'll move it right along. Special guest, are you ready? Okay, I see you. You came off mute. I see you. All right, guys, let's do this.
Spicy, misty, they call it prison misty. Spice girl with the CIA edge, dirty work on Twitter, X, 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 X. Prison mistake, she'll cut you, call out the lies, demand the receipts. Prison mistake, protect the queen, no bullshit survives, receipts or goodbye. One sharp post, timeline burns. She owns the night. Truth returns. Prison mistake, she'll cut you, call out the lies, demand the receipts. Prison mistake, protect the queen, no bullshit survives, receipts or goodbye. Spicy, prison, cut, call the man. Rise. Prison mistake, she'll cut you, call out the lies, demand the receipts. Prison mistake, protect the queen, no bullshit survives, receipts or goodbye. Prison mistake. Receipts or goodbye. Prison mistake. Receipts or goodbye.
Y'all have turned me into some crazy mythical character.
That might be my favorite AI song to date.
I absolutely love it.
I
I've
love
been,
it too. It is
I've been,
the hype song.
it is, it really is. And I've been listening to it all day long because I am an absolute nervous wreck. But, what a great song, huh? I love it. Um, it's everything about me. It's exactly who I am. And I absolutely love it. So
Yep.
hi everyone.
Say hi to Spicy Misty, first name Misty, Prison Misty. I'm sure she answers to all of them. Yes. So Misty, tell us about the day when all of those images started. Because some people aren't on Twitter, so they haven't seen all of those movie posters.
Actually, I don't know how I found it. I'm always on X, right? So I guess I was scrolling and, maybe it was, I'm not sure. I saw the first poster, the one I love, which is the one that's behind Jimmy. And I was like, oh my God, I love that image. I want that printed. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to make these images, you need to respect a bitch and tag me. And, and then I guess it just spiraled from there. And it was a lot of fun that night. I'm not going to lie. I had a great deal of fun with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't watch Jimmy, which we understand a lot of people don't watch him anymore, he currently has a movie poster behind him when he goes live. What's the movie called? Do you remember? Or the actress? Is it Weaver?
No idea.
Okay. Me either. I'm not a pop culture. I know someone in the chat knows. But anyways, I remember the day when this started because I think you sent me maybe one or two screenshots and you were laughing. Like you seriously thought it was the cutest thing ever. And it just kept coming and coming and coming. And I remember you saying like, you're having so much fun, blah, 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 blah. I think Jimmy, knew that you were also having fun. There were so many of like, Jimmy was in them, Queen Val was in them. They were just hilarious. And today was, I just made that intro video. And so today was the first time I actually got to see them all at once. And such a vibe. Love it.
It really is. It really is. I did have a lot of fun. I didn't see all of them, because it was happening late at night and I'm old and I'm just a baby. So I had to go to bed. And, but the next day I woke up and my inbox was just filled with them. And I was like, wow. And then I went back to the thread and it's kind of all over the place. And I saw, everybody kind of posting it or other people posting different ones and it going, it just went off the rails. And I thought it was the funnest thing ever. So I have them all because I really do love them. Yeah. I'm working my way to a Garbage Pail Kid. That's really my goal. That's really my goal.
Yes. You know what? Could that bring the bunnies back to Jimmy? Spicy. I mean, it's a Garbage Pail Kids card.
I mean, I want it to. I hope it does. One of the goals of this originally was to be okay. You know what? Let me just start out by saying hello to everybody because I kind of missed that. So I want to say hi to everyone. It's clearly me. I want to say this up front. I'm speaking to, I'm not that great at speaking. My brain doesn't work as fast as Jessica does. And I'm sure as hell not as good as Jessica. So I'm nervous. This is not my thing. And I'm not going to cam up. Sorry, folks. Sorry, J7, not going to cam up. There's quite a few reasons for that. I hesitated even doing this, even doing streams at all. I didn't really want my voice out there. I'm going to try really, really hard not to say a lot. And so I'm probably going to say it a lot. Like I just keep doing. Anyway, so I'm not going to cam up. There's some security reasons for that. I CIA, don't you know? Anyway, it's not that serious. But I just wanted to say that up front that I won't be on camera. But I did really, really want to say hi to my family, my besties and my bunnies. You guys are my family. I love you. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful time. I know that I might be the loudest among us and the biggest voice only because so many people are afraid to talk and I'm not. So I couldn't be spicy without all of you. So, when everybody says, you're great, Missy, it's all of us. It's not just me. I just happen to be the loudest. So I wanted to shout out the family as y'all mean a great deal to me, even those who have left the nest. I miss you. I see you guys in other chats. I miss you. I love you. I only wish the best for you. And like I was going to say, one of the beginning reasons why I started working this was because well, I mean, you're going to learn that later, but I got really, really, really pissed. And another reason is because a lot of people in our family were asking for a timeline because, it's all over the place and a lot of people were having a hard time keeping track of everything. So in the beginning, I was kind of being, you're going to learn you're going to learn the difference between Spicy and Prison Misty in a minute. But, in the beginning, I was being Prison Misty. As time has gone on and things have gotten a little more heated, my goal in all of this, even though I'm going to be a little harsh, actually, I'm going to be an asshole, but I'm not trying to divide any further. What I hope happens is that a lot of people can finally fucking see what's going on and understand the goal that Aiden has, because I see you, bro, and it's incredibly fucking transparent. And I don't want to do what I originally have ready to do. I don't want to do that. And, all I want is for everything to just stop, in other words. So, I added that in, but, I'm going to continue to finish saying what I was saying. But another reason why I didn't want to cam up was because I'm really pissed off and, one might say rageful, and I get very, very ugly, and it's hard for me to rein that in once it's unleashed. Now, I'm not saying that's cool or badass or any of that, but I have been to prison, and going to prison changes you. I don't care if you're there for a short amount of time or a long amount of time. It changes who you are. And I don't really care for the prison Misty. And so since there's been a great deal of talk about prison Misty, I think we should probably talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fair warning for all of you who have earbuds in. I get really, really, really loud. I cuss like a sailor. So if you have me on TV and little ones around, you might want to, and, like I said, if you're wearing earbuds, RIP your ears, because like I said, I get incredibly loud, but when I get really, really, really pissed off, as you might see at some point during this video, I get really, really quiet. And, I can't stand streamers who do that. Streamers who are like, rah, rah, they're really, really loud. And then all of a sudden they're like really quiet. And you're like, what? What the fuck are you saying? I can't hear you. And I'm washing dishes. I can't turn my video up and down. Will you please just keep one? Anyway, so I'm sorry ahead of time.
You're fine.
Anyway. Okay. So to finish or to start the story about prison.
Okay.
Prison changes everything about you. It changes how you speak. It changes how you interact with others. It changes how you move. And the hardest thing for me was I had to learn how to control my facial expressions. I have a resting bitch face. Okay. So I always look
Same.
pissed. And so it's a lot. And you have to learn that really fucking fast, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna begin by speaking about this because, like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions about this lately. I won't be telling my story here. I'm not going to tell you why I was in prison. Again, there's a few reasons for that. I promise you it has nothing to do with what's happening around us online. I've made it very clear that I have told my story in one of Jessica's lives in the comments. And I'm just being an asshole when I say, if y'all want to find my stories, go watch her videos and read the comments and you'll find them there.
Yeah.
And you can try to find them. Anyway, so I was in prison. I guess I'd say like 13, 14 years ago now. I can't keep track. My brain, doesn't really function like that. Anyway, I can't remember what I did yesterday. But I remember prison pretty vividly, trauma, like Aiden does jail. Trauma does that to somebody.
Right.
Anyway, when I got out of prison, I had to go back to being a normal person. And for me, that wasn't easy. And the people who knew me best, told me how weird I was. I was extremely strange for a very long time. And that's putting it mildly. I would hoard food. I would, it was,
Oh,
yeah, because, when you're in prison, you work off commissary, right? So, um, you would you had to be careful. I don't know. You had to be careful because if people knew you had money, and I was very blessed in prison. I mean, I wasn't overly blessed, but I was blessed enough to have what I needed in prison. So I would give, um, I would get what I needed. And if people saw that were getting a lot, that caused some problems anyway. And then if you didn't get enough, you started to hoard food because you would put it all in your drawer. And so when I came out of prison, that's what I started doing. And everybody found that incredibly fucking strange. So I was very weird.
Misty, there's some
Go ahead.
questions in the chat. Would you share how many years you were in prison?
Oh, I wasn't in prison very long. I was only in prison for a year.
Okay.
And being in prison for only a year, should tell you a lot about what prison is like by how much it changed me. Because that's not a very long time to be in prison. And my experience there was very different for a lot of different reasons. I'm not going to go there, but, anyway, so, because you have to move differently in prison and you have to be different, I had to learn to put away the type of anger and rage that you gain because you're in prison. And you can't show your real emotions, right? While you're in prison, you cannot show your real emotions. Everything you do has to be very, very calculated. So while I was there, as my time went on in prison, I was put in a place where I was with lifers. And when you're put in a place where you're with lifers, that's
Oh,
a
wow.
different, that's a whole different ball game, right? Because those people have absolutely nothing to lose.
Right.
They have nothing to lose at all. However, you do. You have a lot to lose. So, so how you behave is a big part of what determines your release date. So if you ended up on the wrong side of a lifer, what that person would do is some pretty harsh shit to make you either catch new charges or lose your gain time. And again, so you had to change the way you behaved around lifers as opposed to how you behaved around folks who were just in prison for, a short amount of time. And a short amount of time is anywhere from 1 to 10 years. So as time went on, I had become friends with this girl in prison who ironically absolutely fucking hated me at first. Like this bitch would not sit with me at a table. And when you filed in to, the chow hall, you sat, chronologically in
Okay.
the line that you were in, right? But she wouldn't sit next to me. Like she would anyway. So we ended up becoming the best of friends. And it just so happened, that one night a lifer was going after her. And I remember this night like it was yesterday because my friend was in a bunk that was in a corner. And a corner bunk is coveted because you have two walls on two sides of you. So you're protected on two sides, right?
Okay.
But you're also trapped because there are two walls on two sides of you. So if you're in a bunk in the middle of the dorm, you can just get up and however, in any direction you want. But if you're in a coveted corner bunk and you end up on the wrong side of somebody, you're kind of fucked if cause you're in a corner, you're cornered. Anyway, and she was my friend and I had become to really, really care about her. And in time, I really loved her and she was in there for 10 years and she had already done about 5 or 6 at that point. I don't remember which. And she had actually taught me a great deal about prison once we became friends. And you know what? I'll tell you why she was even there because this is something I say a lot now. She was there because she was an alcoholic.
Oh.
And the first time you get hit for a DUI, they take away your license and so forth.
Yep.
And it's only for a short amount of time, right? The second time you get hit with a DUI, they do a little more. They suspend your license for, 5 years or whatever. The third time it's anyway, eventually you become a habitual offender.
Right.
Right. And so she got wise to all that and finally fucking stopped driving while she was drunk. Anyway, so when she would leave the bar, she would sleep in her car and she would throw her keys out into the parking lot, hoping that if the cops showed up and hit her, she'd be like, look, I'm just sleeping in my car. I'm sleeping it off. I'm not driving. My keys are out there somewhere. I don't even fucking know where they are, but it didn't matter where you put your keys because if you are in a car on or off, driving or not driving, you're going to get hit with a DUI, period. Yes, in a lot of states. So she became a habitual offender and she got 10 years. And so that's why she was there. And so here is where, because I have a script that I'm kind of following, and here is where I'm going to go off script because I have to let a cat in. And that means I have to move. And of course, the cat doesn't want in, naturally. I'm a slave to my cats when they want in and out, and they have their own damn door. They can come and go as they please. For fuck's sake, it makes me crazy. And they're like, no, bitch, get up and let me out, or get up and let me in. It's like, okay, I'm here to serve you. I'm just living in your world.
Yes.
Anyway, so what I wanted to say was, don't drive drunk. Because, I had another friend, and this is completely off script, but I had another friend who I absolutely adored, okay? And this chick was a lifer.
Okay.
And she was a lifer because she turned 21. And she turned 21, and she was going to go out and party that night. And she was going to go out and get drunk. And that's exactly what she did. Okay? And driving home, she got into an accident and she killed an entire family.
Oh my
God.
God.
Entire family. So she was in prison for life.
Wow.
So I say constantly, there is absolutely no fucking reason to drive drunk. There's Ubers everywhere.
Right.
Call an Uber. Anyway. Okay. So getting back to the story. So prison turned me into something bad. And when I got out, like I said, it took me a long time to put that bad person away and to focus on the good person that prison made me while I was there. Because while I was there, I was able to understand who I am. I was able to become closer to God. I was able to understand why I did the things that I did. And I learned how not to be an addict. And I learned all that while being in prison. A lot of it through the other girls there, a lot of it on my own, a lot of it through God.
Yep.
So I was able to do that. And I tried to put the bad Misty away, the prison Misty away, and focus on the healed Misty.
Right.
And I've managed to do that for many, 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 many years.
So
And
you,
that's, go
you
ahead.
obviously left prison sober. So did you ever relapse, or was that it?
No, that was it.
Wow, that's
That
admirable.
was it. It's
Okay.
actually, I don't know if I want to say this, but, I wasn't originally supposed to go to prison. Actually, I'll go ahead and tell it
Okay.
because I'm sure that at some point. Anyway, I had to fight to go to prison. Actually, what I was in jail for didn't require prison. I had the points for it. Most of you aren't going to understand what I'm talking about, but the judge didn't want to give me prison. He wanted to keep me in jail. And when I got in front of him on sentencing day, I said, no, this isn't what I want, because as time went on, I learned not to deal with, I learned to become my own lawyer. So I didn't, when I talked to the public defender, I said, listen, I want a year and a day. I want to go to prison. Send me to prison. And she's like, sure. Okay. And my experience with the justice system that I was dealing with was a very good one. It wasn't corrupt at all,
Okay.
which was a great blessing for me, actually. Anyway, so when the prosecutor showed this to the judge, he looked at me and he said, no, this isn't, no. And I said, Your Honor, I said, respectfully, I would like a year and a day. And he said, why? And I said, because I'm not ready to leave jail yet. I can't leave jail. And you know, my charges don't warrant enough jail time. So I just need you to give me a prison and a day, a day and a year and a day. This is what happens when I get off script. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway,
Why
I
a
don't,
year and a day? Why that extra day?
the extra day puts you in prison. So if a judge gives you, if a judge gives you 12 months, then you stay in jail.
Okay.
A judge gives you a full year and 1 day, that sends you to prison because you can't stay in jail,
Oh, I got it.
right?
Got it.
Now, there are people who have been in jail for many, many, many years because they're waiting on their trial or whatever.
Right.
And so it's very different. But anyway, so I had to fight for that. And do you know that the judge made me wait? He said, no, I'm not giving you this. And I fought him and he's like, Misty, go back to the cell and sit there and think about what you're asking me to do. And,
Oh,
and
okay.
that motherfucker made me sit all day long. He made me sit all day long in that cell. And at the end of the fucking court date, I can't, he brought me back in and he said, do you still want a year and a day? And I said, please sign the damn paperwork. Sign it.
Wow.
So I could get my commitment papers and head out. Anyway, so I had to fight for that. So I wasn't really originally supposed to go, but I wanted to go because I was a drug addict. I wasn't ready to get out. I didn't trust myself to get out. The things I was doing was bad. The night I went to jail, I would have absolutely died had I not been arrested. It sounds like I'm gonna tell my story. I'm trying not to. But anyway, I would have died had I not been arrested that day. Because that night I was absolutely going to a dealer and that dealer was going to teach me how to end up shooting up heroin that night because
Oh,
pills had gotten too expensive. I was an addict. So I was switching to heroin because it was cheaper. I had no idea how the fuck to shoot up. That night he was going to show me how to shoot up. That day I was doing some bad shit. I got arrested. Praise God. Those cops arrested me. I went back later and I thanked those cops for arresting me. Anyway, I thanked a lot of cops actually. So anyway, to get back to the story, I've managed to put the prison Misty side of me away for a very long time. And it hasn't really presented itself for a long time, ever, until now, which actually surprised the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. It surprised the fucking shit out of me because you know what I realized? I realized that Jessica Machado was my friend in the corner with the lifer standing over her.
Oh,
And
wow.
that pissed me off. That turned, that flipped a switch in me. And I was like, oh, fuck no. Oh, fuck no. I see what's happening here. Anyway, so now, I know that probably sounds extreme to a lot of you that I consider Jess Machado, my friend in the corner with the lifer standing over her, but I do. I don't know why I do. I just do. A lot of that's probably selfish, which I'll get into later. And throughout this, you'll probably come to understand a little bit more, about why I feel that way. I mean, fuck, sometimes it's a mystery to me. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
But I will tell you that prison Misty wasn't unleashed. Not really, until I watched Jimmy streaming in the woods with a fucking microphone.
Mm-hmm. And this was a members only.
Now, this is a members only. I have to take a breath because I'm not kidding when I tell you, like, I start to shake. Anyway, now that's not a dig at Jimmy. I'm just being honest. Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with how I felt about Jimmy. And anyway, to get back on, I had already seen what was happening with Jessica, right? It was very clear to me what was going on with Jessica. Now, it wasn't clear to Jessica at all because Jessica is new to YouTube. And second, she has a good heart and she doesn't think the way that I think. Praise God. I don't want a lot of people to think the way that I think because it's not a good way to think. It's not a good way to move through life. But
Yeah.
this is who I am now. Anyway, so I could see what was happening to Jessica. I could see what Aiden, Turtle Boy, was doing. I could see it when I finally realized it.
Yeah. But we didn't want to
And
believe it.
it took me, right. We didn't want to believe it. Jessica had faith in him and she sort of, I want to say maybe convinced me a little bit that I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. And I was like, all right. If you love the man, then I trust you and I'll roll with you because I was telling her, let me get back. Cause I'm going to go off and in a tangent. We don't want to do that.
You're
Okay.
good.
Now,
You're good.
now let me explain to you why I was able to very quickly see what Aiden was doing. I've been on the internet since about 2012. Not so much on YouTube, but on Facebook. And I've watched streamers come and go. I've watched a lot of communities rise and fall. So I was able to understand very, very, very quickly what was happening with Jessica. I've seen it many times.
Okay.
Throughout that, I had gained a lot of knowledge. And I'm gonna mention somebody that seems to trigger some people,
Mm-hmm.
but I gained a lot more knowledge with streamers through Nick Rekieta and what he went through. And there are differences and there are similarities with both of these stories, with what Nick Rekieta went through and what Jessica is going through. With Rackets, it was all about money, right?
Right.
It was, and that I could see very quickly. So I learned that
You mean the attack on Rackets was about money? Is that what you mean?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, because what happened with Rekieta was every single streamer, with the exception of maybe a few, very, very few, Every single one. Streamers this motherfucker brought up. Streamers channels this motherfucker made. Okay?
Yep.
They all turned on him. And they turned on him because the hate latched onto him. And when everybody hates a streamer, they all want to hear all the other streamers who might know some sort of tea. They all want to latch onto them and hear them, right? So, and what that brings in is it brings in views and super chats and money. And the money on YouTube flows like fucking monopoly money, right?
Yep.
And so, what question did you ask me again? Sorry, I got off topic. I knew this was going to happen.
No, just I was just asking about Rackets.
Oh, right.
The attack
Okay,
on
so
him was mostly money related.
yes, the attack on Rackets was about money. The attack on Jessica is about silence.
Mm.
It's about silence, and I see it. All right, I need to. Whew. Anyway, and it's also about money, but it's about money for the bottom feeders, for the bottom feeders like Will and Jolene. And calling them bottom feeders isn't, well, fuck it. They are. They're bottom feeders. Jolene wasn't always like that, and I'm going to show you guys that later. But anyway, so what's happening with Jessica is a coordinated takedown, and I'm going to fucking lay that out for all of you. And I remember very, very early on seeing that. And I would say, early on before all the Baker shit even happened, I could see something happening. I could see this coordination happening. And I would say to Jessica in Jessica's chat, or I would text her, which she would ignore, by the way. And I would tell her, and I would be like, listen, and some of you may remember this. I would say, Jess, there are very, very, very powerful people who want to take both you and Aiden down. Very, very powerful people who want you both to shut up, right? Yeah. So we have two warring things, right? We have a very corrupt system in Boston. In that system, there's a lot of people inside that corrupt system in Boston. There's a lot of people, let's say a family with a bunch of friends that are highly, highly, highly influential. And in Jessica's case, and I guess to some extent Aiden's, because he was a journalist, but he wasn't really a political threat. But Jessica was a political threat. So you have the Boston corruption, and then you have Jessica as a political threat locally, right? Although I believe if Jessica continues on this path, it'll expand. But anyway, once we break this chain, which I'm gonna fucking do anyway. All right. So she had two forces willing to take her down. Okay. And who didn't want her to speak, and I noticed that right away. I don't remember what made me start to notice that, or whatever she was saying that made me, but I knew something was going on. So whenever I felt that, I would scream in her chat, this is coordinated. You need to start paying attention. This is all a setup. Anyway, okay, so I was looking at the two sides, the Boston corruption, the political corruption, and I wondered how they were going to go about trying to take Jessica down.
Okay.
All right. Now enter in a bunch of chaos agents, a bunch of ill-intended people, a bunch of people who showed up out of fucking nowhere, who whisper things in someone's ears, who starts something which makes a rumor, and that rumor starts to spread and expand. Just weird bullshit like that, right?
Right.
Now, when I say these things, I want you all to picture, those people in your head, because there's a lot of them, right? I'm not going to name anybody, but I'm going to just say, I don't really give a fuck about naming anybody, but there's a lot of them. You could look at Valerie as one of them, because she absolutely fucking is. And then you could look at, but from Valerie, because she's the loudest. You'd say she's the spicy chaos agent. From her, if you stop looking at her so closely, you'll see a fuck ton more of them, right?
Yep.
And just think of all those people who showed up out of nowhere, people who are always online, people who move easily from one side to the other side. If you're looking at sides, right? I
Yep.
hate Aiden. I love Aiden. I'm on Turtle Boy's side. I'm not on Turtle Boy's side. I'm sure that all of you can think of a few.
Yep.
So I was searching for and keeping an eye out for that angle. And it didn't occur to me to look around, right? It sure as hell never occurred to me that it would be Aiden who would attempt to take Jessica down. That never fucking occurred to me. Like, and like we talked about earlier, Jess had a lot of faith in Aiden. And, I listened to Jess because she knew more than I did. So I rolled with what she was rolling with. Then I thought about it, and I thought about Aiden and all he's facing. I'm going to repeat that. Then I thought about it, and I thought about all that Aiden is facing. He keeps saying 90 years.
Mm-hmm.
All that he is facing. Two sides. Corrupt Boston. Political corruption. All that Aiden is facing. And boy, does that make you start to wonder, doesn't it?
Yep.
Because it sure the fuck made me start to wonder. Now that I've said that out loud, it sure does make me wonder.
Yep.
Because what's Aiden's point? Why? What's his point to take Jess down? Why? For what? For what, right? Like, what's the goal? What's the end goal? Right? Think about that for yourselves. What's the end goal? Because it certainly doesn't it shouldn't serve him, should it?
But it does.
Anyway, when Jessica began streaming very, very early on, I wasn't always in chat. In fact, I was very rarely in chat. Hell, I was rarely in Ricada's streams. I was usually always working. I would listen to streams and I would be baking or cleaning my house or doing dishes or whatever. I was never really in chat.
Yep. Same.
And one day I was listening to Jessica and I was washing dishes and I don't know what she said and I don't know what happened, but the hairs on the back of my neck stood up and I thought, Misty, you need to get the fucking chat. Something's happening. And, mostly this is selfish. And this is where I hope a lot of you hear me. I did this mostly out of selfish reasons because I love Jessica and I want to keep her, right? I want her to stream every morning. I set my fucking alarm to 7. So I'd make sure I had my coffee at 7:30. We were ready to go. I look forward to her streaming every morning, mostly because I get her. I understand her. In some ways I identify with her. I love her. And, I'm going to go on a little tangent here. It makes me fucking crazy when she says how bad of a person. I'm like, bitch, you're a goddamn angel. Yes. When she goes on those tangents, she's like, I'm such a bad person. I'm like, girl, anyway,
Same.
I'm like, sis, I don't know, I don't know how to get this through to you, but you are a saint, sis. Anyway. So, I looked forward to streaming. I identified with her and I loved her. I love a lot of streamers. And when Legal Vices died, some of you may know who that is. Some of you may not. But when Legal Vices died, I cried for 2 days. I've never met this fucking man, okay? I had never met Legal Vices. I just watched him on YouTube. I had never met him. And I cried for 2 days. And I don't know who this man is. So I had come to really like and to love a lot of streamers. And I want you to hear me when I say this to you. This is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing to love a streamer. But the person who really taught me how dangerous that was, and I'm going to bring his name up again, it was Nick Rekieta.
Yeah.
Because when everything went down with Nick, I was devastated. I was devastated because I had lost the streamer that I loved, I looked forward to, that I depended on, and I was mad at Nick. I was mad at him. I was sad. I was a lot of shit. And if you want to know Nick's story, I encourage you to watch the interview that Jimmy did with Nick Rekieta. Go watch that. Nick tells you a condensed version of it. And I think it's a good interview, and it's something that I think all of you should watch. Nick Rekieta is a fucking fantastic streamer. He's absolutely brilliant. And so when everything happened with Nick, I had lost my streamer, and I was upset, and I was pissed at Nick. And then the world started attacking Nick. And that's the first time I had experienced fighting back for a streamer. And I thought, because there were so many fucking lies out there. Anyway, so I'm going off again. But there were a lot of lies about Nick, and I would scream and yell on X and be like, you guys are all fucking nuts. You're spreading all these lies. This is all about money. And anyway, but when Nick finally cooled off, when everything finally cooled off for Nick, and Nick came back, he was so fucking amazing because he understood how someone like me had felt. He understood that he had hurt me, even though it should not have hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had come to love some streamers, and we put these streamers on a pedestal, okay? We think of them as other, as more, and we should not do that, folks.
Yeah.
We should not do that. But when Nick came back, he apologized. He apologized to all of us who he hurt. But he also said, you can't put me on a pedestal. You can't convince yourself I'm someone I'm not. You can't expect me to be something I'm not. He said a lot more, but I got his message. And I learned to put up a wall between me and streamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned to like streamers, to enjoy them, but I learned to let them come and go. And I've noticed in this community in particular, a lot of you have not really gained that. A lot of you have not been able to do that yet. And I understand that because it took me a long time to do it. Fuck, I cried over Legal Vices for 2 days. So I get it. I understand. It takes a long time to put that wall up. And I still have that wall up, even with Jessica. However, I wasn't gonna let anybody fucking take away what I wanted. And what I wanted was to hear Jessica every fucking morning. That's what I wanted. And nobody is going to take that from me. So I have to make sure that Jessica is okay. And that means getting real fucking stupid. And I don't want to do that. That's why I'm anyway, so to finish this up, So one morning I'm doing dishes. I'm listening to Jess. The hair stands up on the back of my neck, and I'm like, okay, something's starting to happen. I have no idea what's going on, but alarm bells are starting to ring in my ears. And that's when I sat down at my computer and I started to pay attention.
Okay.
I started talking to chat. I started learning the community. I started learning the names. I started falling in love with with the besties and the bunnies. And I really started, to give Jessica and everything going on around her my full attention,
Okay.
because I could feel something starting to happen. And again, you have two huge forces trying to silence her. And now you have a third. And that's the time. And this was before. This wasn't even after. This was before Baker. This was before all the Baker stuff that I felt something starting to happen. Hold on a second. My cat is banging on my window. He's literally clawing on my window like, bitch, you need to let me in. Please, by all means, come in. Hey, oh my God, there's both of them. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay. I started to shut the door on him. All right. He can take it. He's the size of a tank. Anyway. So I started to pay attention, and this was all before Baker. I could feel something happen. And,
do you remember an approximate time period or what major events were going on at the time? Do you remember?
I've tried to think about that. I really don't. I'm going to say that I think it was maybe right after she lost the studio and she was at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it was about then, maybe. I don't really remember, honestly, truly. I don't really remember, but I remember it was before all the Baker drama started.
Yeah.
And, and then I realized when I started to work, because I went to work, and I realized really quickly that I was going to need reinforcements. And that's when I made a phone call.
Okay.
And I'm going to share this phone call with you because it's so funny, and it's just fantastic, because what I was doing was I was going through all these YouTube channels, and I was pulling video after video, transcript after transcript, and I'm like, this is taking way, way, way too much time.
Yep.
And this just isn't going to work for me. There's got to be a better way. So, so I called somebody, and I swear on my fourth uncle's cousin's nephew's dog, this is exactly how it happened. Anyway, so I call my friend, right?
Okay.
And he answers, and all I say is, hey, my friend, how are you? And he says, Christ, Misty, what'd you do? You want I should come? I'll be there in 8 hours. It'll be less if Larry uses the plane. And I'm like, no. His name is Don, right? And I'm like, Don, you don't need to do anything like that, my friend. He says, how much bail you need? What's the number? And I'm chuckling because, hopefully a lot of you haven't been to jail, but if you have, you know that around a jail, when you're headed to jail, all the bondsmen are, the bondsman offices are there, and their phone numbers are usually really, really, really large, so that you can fucking remember what that number is Because the jail's gonna, back then, I should say back then, the jail didn't let you write down numbers. I
Okay.
think they let you write down phone numbers now, but back then they didn't, and you had to memorize the numbers, right? So the names are really big. So this is why he's asking me for the number. The number. Anyway, I said, I said, Don, I love you, but I'm not arrested either. If you just let me, and this man interrupts me. Yeah, I swore on your mother's grave, and I'm like, Don, I love you, but I don't need anything like that. If you just listen. And he's like, okay, Misty, I'm listening. He truly, I love him to pieces. Anyway, I said, my friend, I need a program. Oh, this motherfucker loses his mind. He's like, Jesus Christopher Christ, Misty, I thought you were clear. I swear to God, this is how exactly. And I'm like, I am Don. I am. I'm good as gold. I'm clean as a whistle. Praise God. And he's like, praise God. Why you should be calling me then? And I'm like, well, Don, because first I love you and I'd like to say hi, and also, like second, because, I need like a whole ass AI program.
Okay.
And this man who would not let me get a word in edgewise is like, Misty, why don't you say that? Why you not say that? Why you didn't say that? He says to me. Anyway, so this was many, many months ago. So so he did, that essentially. And what this program does is it pulls every video a creator has ever made on their YouTube channel, even members only. That was a bit tricky, but we got around it. So I can search every single word that creator has ever uttered. Or I can search a grouping of words or a phrasing of words. And what this program gives me in return, it's really amazing and beyond what I asked for. But when you ask Dawn for something, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. And what this program does is it gives me the date the creator made the video, the title of the video. It gives me 3 sentences before that word or phrase that I'm looking for. It gives me 3 sentences after that phrase. It gives me a little paragraph of context. It links the video. It links and it tells me all the timestamps the creator said this word. It's a very, very, very clever program. Anyway, this made it much easier for me to find what I needed. Like instead of Aiden saying just random shit, which are lies, and then going, I'm sure you've heard it, right? Like all of you, I'm sure all of you have heard it. It's all over X. There's clips all over X. I'm sure all of you have heard this fucking lie. Right, Aiden. I see you, bro. I see you. Anyway, so that's how I was able to put a lot of this together. And I, and like I said, in the beginning, I was doing this because I was trying to put a timeline together. That was the first reason. Then, I got real pissed. And then I got rageful with it and mean. I'm not trying to go there. I don't want to be Prison Misty, but you motherfuckers have drawn me out. And if you're going to do that, you got to be prepared for what I'm going to fucking show you. And what I'm going to show, because I don't give a fuck about you creators. What I care about is all the people you fuckers are lying to. And all of you you know what? You know what we should do? You know what we should really do? We should give a round of applause. You know who we need to give a round of applause to?
Who?
The purple dude. We need to give a round of applause to the purple dude. because that motherfucker confirmed what I already knew. But you know what he did? Yes, fucking clap. Thank you. Thank you with your big ass motherfucking mouth, bro. Because what you did was you confirmed what I already knew, and worse yet, you motherfuckers put it in writing. And don't think for 1 second that I don't have every word, every screenshot. So trying to just caution, just caution. There's no point in taking anything down, on changing anything and deleting anything and doing all of that, because every single bit of everything that you guys have done or said or uttered or typed or whatever, I already have every fucking bit of it. Okay. So there's absolutely no reason for you to waste any time doing any of that. So I understand that at this point you might want to go over the first stream that I did with Jimmy, or do you want to answer questions? How's the chat? Let me. Jeff says, "How's the chat?"
Yes, we can check in on the chat for sure.
How the hell are you guys doing? At this point, I'll look at the comments just for a little while because I'm a little less nervous. All the drugs have kicked in. I'm just kidding, Don. I'm just kidding. Way too many fucking people are listening to this live stream. I'm just kidding. I promise. I'm clear, Don. I'm clear. Anyway, all right. So I'll read the comments for a little while. How are you guys?
Everybody's been pretty well behaved. I've only seen a couple of troublemakers, but I don't think we've timed anybody out. I could be wrong. But everybody is loving you. Absolutely loving you.
Well, I love all of you guys. Truly. It's not me. It's the entire Bunny family, man. It's all of us. That's why when people say in chat, they're like, spicy, whatever. And I'm like, no, dude, it's all of us. It's all of us. The reason why I can be spicy is because I know that I have a family. You guys are, I said that you have to be careful with streamers, and you do. You have to be very, very careful with streamers. One of the reasons I think that they hate Jessica so much, and one of the reasons why I think they want to silence Jessica so much, is because Jessica isn't a character. Jessica is a character when she does Bunny After Dark, right? That's when she becomes a character, a little bit of a character. On 24 and 24, Jessica is her authentic self. And we all see it, right? Because she goes through her emotions in real time with all of us. And I mean, fuck, we all of us together are figuring out why an elected official has a box truck in his driveway. Why the fuck is that? Why the fuck is that there, sir? And on live stream, Jeff is making a phone call. Why the fuck are you on? Why the fuck is that truck? That box truck there. Someone get that box. Anyway, and she takes us fucking fishing, and we're going fishing because Jess is, she needs to cool down. And you know what I fucking think they hate so much is Jess went into that fish shop. She went into that fish shop and they heard live in real time who Jessica is.
Yes.
Because we all heard Jessica talk to her. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. I wasn't expecting to talk about her. Otherwise I would have had it. The name of the fishing,
bait,
the fishing shop, the bait shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody will know.
And the chat will know. And oh my God. And Jessica went out of her way, to make sure that, she's yelling at people on the street, not are you single, but she's yelling at people on the street, if you need bait, or she's yelling at guys in the marina, if you need bait, there's this bait shop, and she's telling everybody. That's who Jessica is. Okay, she's authentic. She's real.
Yes.
And you know what? Purple, Aiden, You motherfuckers were absolutely right when you say Jessica was at 1700 one day. The next day, she's going to be at 170 fucking thousand. And let me tell you something right now. That is still going to fucking happen. Okay. Because like I said, I want to slow everything down. I want everybody to be cool again. I want everybody to be happy again. I want all the bunnies to feel good in Jimmy's chat and in Aiden's chat because nobody wants to see Aiden in jail. Nobody wants to see Aiden go to prison, and jail, fucking all suck. Nobody wants that. Aiden was a very different person. Like I said, I sent a post out earlier and I said, I probably shouldn't say this, but somebody was going through Aiden's entire channel. And when I spoke to that person, they said, Jesus, Misty, this man has completely changed who he is. And I said, if you had to characterize him, I said, what would you characterize him as? And do you know what this man said to me?
What?
He said, I would call him a con man.
Mm.
And I said, would you have said that about him? I don't know, 3-4 years ago? And he said, oh God, no. He said, oh no. 3-4 years ago, he was a completely different person. He said, what he is now is essentially a con man. And, I can very easily outline for you and explain to the community how I can show you what he does. Go ahead.
Before you move on, take a look at the screen. Look at the comment that's on the screen. Jess, are you still here?
Aw.
Here is
I love
another
you.
one. Jess says, if you wonder how I got through the past 2 months, it was Moons, Spicy, J7, and a few others.
Yeah. Oh.
We love you, girl. Oh, she is still here. Okay. So what I'd like to do is let's play your video that we played. I don't know if Jess heard it. And then it's 3 minutes long. We can take a little break if you need it, Misty, and then we will get started on the timeline.
Okay.
Or I'm
let
sorry.
me just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Go.
Finish your thought.
Which 3-minute video are you playing?
The intro. Your intro.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
It's a little
And
break.
then. Yeah. Good.
And then we can start Jimmy's reaction video that you recorded.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Okay. Did you want to finish your thought? I know I interrupt you.
I have no idea what the hell I was thinking.
It sounded like you were about to go into like the timeline. So
I heard you say the word timeline. Anyway,
okay.
Go ahead.
Just to give you guys an idea, we are definitely suspecting that this is going to be part 1. Part 2 will be tomorrow. So if you're here for the timeline, it's probably not going to occur until tomorrow. We have one Jimmy video to review with Misty's reactions, and that will set us up for the timeline. So, okay, I'm going to play the video. It's, like I said, 3 minutes. I'm going to go take a little bit of a break, and then I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Spicy, Misty, they call it prison Misty. Spice girl with the CIA edge, dirty work on Twitter, X. Prison Misty, she'll cut you, call out the lies, demand the receipts. Prison Misty, protect the queen, no bullshit survives, receipts or goodbye.
I love that damn song. I can't help it. I
It will
can't help it.
never get old. It will never get old. What'd you think?
But let me tell you. Yeah, I spent like when you first sent that to me, I'm not gonna lie, I lost like 20 pounds in my kitchen dancing to this song. All I did was listen to it on repeat.
Yeah.
And
You know-
I absolutely just love it so much. And I sent it, anyway, and everybody was like, wow, that's absolutely you. That's definitely you.
Yeah.
But I did want to say this. Jessica, she credits, me helping her get through this. I was, I was always the one who was more like emotional because I'm very emotional and I rush to burn it down. I'm like, fuck no, this is what you really now, right now, this.
Yes.
And
You're very reactional. And I hope
yes,
it doesn't come across as criticism. You're very emotional and reactional, whereas
Mhm.
I'm the opposite.
And so is Jess. It's like I'm like flipping the fuck out, and I'm losing my damn mind. And Jess is like, what's happening? And I'm like, Jessica, you don't see this? And she's like, all right. And I'm like, oh my god. And then anyway, and then I'm like,
A few times that Jess has had to tell Misty, okay, can you like slow it down a little bit? Can you?
yeah, she's like, all right, just calm down. But I also did want to. Anyway, I also did want to, yes. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. You and I have something very in common. I'm a Coke Zero addict as
There you
well.
Yep. Cheers.
And I do, cheers. And I do not limit myself on that. Okay. But I also wanted to do something. I wanted to say when we go over this Jimmy video,
Yes.
it's really not, I don't think it's going to set up the timeline. If we start Jimmy, we sort of have to, we sort of have to go all the way through Jimmy. And maybe instead of that, we can do just the basic timeline of how everything started happening
Okay.
from what, because I mean, the first video isn't that bad. It's not like that serious, but it's not really the beginning of the timeline. We can do this one today because it's, like I said, it's not that bad, but, and I don't think it's that harsh, but, looking at my notes because I got a lot of them.
I was gonna
Anyway.
say,
Like, I don't know if when I get, like, I get close to my phone, like I'm trying to, emphasize something and it's like, it's not doing anything, Misty. Your earbuds are in your ear. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, because this video is, yeah, all right. So we can do this one, but it's really not a setup of the timeline. And tomorrow we can go through the setup of the timeline because look, listen, my goal here truly is to stop all of this, is to just stop it, man. I see what they're doing. I knew what they were going to do this week. I knew it before Jessica left. I knew exactly what they were going to do. You could see it with Nurse Kim. You can see it with AB. You can see it with me. You can see it with everybody. They are trying to pull away all of Jessica's support. Now, praise God, they don't know all the support Jessica has because she's got a fucking army, just FYI. And, Charles is leading it. Caw. Anyway, okay.
you do that so well. You do that so well.
Oh my god. I mean, how do you not like legit? How do you guys not see J7? How do you not see who, how do you not see who she is? Like, legit. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Everybody looks at her and all they see is hate and rage. And I'm like, dude, it's comedy and play. I don't understand how you don't see that. And in there, there's a little bit of, look, I see you, chill a little bit. And people take what she says and they turn it into this huge thing. And I'm like, you guys are fucking nuts, man. I mean, everybody, y'all need again. So let me go back to where I was. What I
Okay.
want is I want to chill everything out. I want to say, look, I don't want to show everybody. I don't want to, and I may not, who the fuck am I? I may not do anything, but I don't want to show people what I see Jimmy is. I don't want to show people. And you know who's doing an excellent fucking job showing exactly who Aiden is, but he does it way too respectfully as far as I'm concerned. Is, wait a minute. Okay. Because I was listening to his stream today. Is Randy from JFK.
Oh, there you
The
go.
one I officially have a crush on. I officially have a crush. Let me, you know what? If you listen to what JFK says, and I'm going to say this to you, Aiden, listen to what JFK Randy is saying to you, because that's the truth, bro. That's the truth. Nobody wants to see you go to jail. Nobody wants to see you, God forbid, go to fucking prison. Nobody wants that for you. Nobody.
Right.
Originally, yes, all his charges are bullshit. They're all corrupt. They're all, and nobody wants that, dude. But I don't think you understand that what you're doing now is basically, I mean, you're giving them the keys to the cell, bro. And you're like, let me fucking walk right in it. And you don't understand. And I don't think that he's ever going to. And people who have the knowledge, who have the experience saying that to Aiden thinks he knows all. He thinks he's God and you don't. And, another, truth bomb is that, bro, the jury isn't going to be made up of your fans. Your fans are not going to be on the jury.
Yep.
So, his charges are bullshit. But like my friend said this morning, what Aiden was even, maybe a year ago, he is completely different today. And what he is today, I'm going to be honest with you, Aiden, what you are today is going to put you in prison. So you really need to, and listen, I'm not being cruel. I'm not being harsh. I'm not being mean. Truly, I'm not. I don't want to see that for you, but you think you can hide behind the First Amendment. You think you can hide. You see how corrupt Boston is. And let me tell you, I have been in enough justice systems. I've watched enough trials. What the law is and what actually happens in court are two completely fucking different things, bro. They're completely different. And you need to hear when people are giving you advice, when Randy is saying, bro, what you're doing is not good. Anyway, so I wanted to say that. And then what I wanted to say was, what I want all this is, you guys can draw everybody you want away from Jess. You're not going to fucking draw me away. AB is young. She's new to the internet. She doesn't understand everything yet. I tell her all the time, I wish that you and I could go to lunch. I wish that you and I could sit down and go to lunch and have a drink. I wish that more than anything, because I would love to talk to AB. Arkansas bestie. She's young. She's new. She's also very highly influenced. And that's very easy to see. It's very easy to see that they're trying very, very hard to divide Jessica and Kim. I think Kim is smarter than that. Well, I know Kim is smarter than that. And Montante, dude, I fucking love you, by the way. Um, anyway, I think that they're trying to take everybody, take all the support away from Jess so she feels alone. Well, I got news for you. Truly, I have a lot of news for you. There, and I'm not full of shit when I say this. There is a fucking army behind this woman that nobody knows about, that nobody sees, that isn't online, that isn't on stream. They don't know all this. And
And there's even more like around me. And I don't know if these people are duplicates, but I'm starting to get a lot more messages, you know, like, hey, I didn't know if you saw this or not. Or, hey,
oh yeah,
can you look at this? Or, hey, can you pass this on?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
I got a lot more. I got a lot more of those. When Jessica mic dropped that, she's like, I don't care anymore. Misty's on my team, or Prison Misty's on my team, and I'm like, great, fuck.
Yeah.
And so the messages started flooding in, but you know, I loved that. I don't care. You know, I always say I don't care. I'm not scared of anything. There's not a whole lot you can do to me to hurt me. Most of my family is dead. The rest of my family is cousins that, you know, second, third, fourth, fifth cousins, all far away. I don't speak to anybody, you know, so you're not going to hurt me in that manner. I'm highly protected. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about me. So I can go hard online. I'm not scared of any of this shit. You guys don't fucking scare me. And, you can do, you know, you can do pretty much whatever you want, but anyway, but what, you know, again, going back, what I want is for this to just stop, dude. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop the hate. Stop the pile-on. You know what? Jolene's gonna do what Jolene does because that brings her in money, okay? She's become vicious, and I'll show all that later, but because I love you, Moons, but you think this is like, you know, stream 1 and stream 2. And I'm like, this is going to be stream 1, stream 2, stream 3, stream 3, you know, and stream 7, stream 8, stream 10. And now that I'm, you know, feeling a lot more comfortable, on stream because I'm not looking at anything at all. It's a lot easier because I also feel like I'm just talking to you on the phone, which is great.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, I just want all this to stop. I want everybody, I want everybody to be able to go into everybody else's chats and to just be able to love each other again. This should be, you know, we can all, you know, we can all
Get along.
circle around. We can all we can circle around Aiden and fight for him, but not when he's turned in to this fucking psycho. He's turned into a con man. You can't turn into that, dude. And by the way, all the people that are that are going through Aiden's streams and clipping him, I feel really sorry for you because I mean, like I had this AI program. I mean, I just feel sorry for you, and I hope that he's paying you or something because y'all deserve that.
Maybe,
but like I said,
out to your guy.
Yeah, because I'm gonna charge you a lot. But like I said, you know, the charges that Aiden does have are corrupt. It's not right, but what he has become is not who Aiden was. Aiden is not a good person right now. He is scared, and I understand that. Well, Aiden's not scared. That motherfucker is terrified.
He's stressed out. We can definitely.
He is a terrified, caged animal, scared to death of what's about to happen. And let me tell you, Aiden, I don't want to say this to you, bro, but the path you're headed on is headed in that direction. And I don't want to see that for you. And all I want is for you to stop. just stop. Jimmy, just stop. I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to do this. So after this stream, maybe we'll see how everybody responds. And if everybody's an asshole, well then fuck it. We'll just burn it all to the ground. I don't care either way. I just want to make sure that I fucking get what I want, and that's my Jessica streaming every fucking morning, and you motherfuckers aren't gonna take that from me. So whatever I have to do, if I gotta burn everything to the fucking ground, I will. And let me tell you something. I have no fucking problem doing that. None. So yes, I think tomorrow maybe we go through the timeline because a lot of people don't understand the Baker timeline and all that. So I think that would be a good idea. And then yes, if you want to play, the Jimmy,
Yep.
and this is just, listen, I recorded this. This is pre-recorded and all that. And I recorded this when I was extremely pissed. And this is just a sampling of what might be coming. And I don't want it to come to that. That's all. Okay. All right.
If you want me to pause so that you can commentate, just come off mute and interrupt. Okay.
Okay.
I want you all.
See, I'm really quiet there. You can, I'm really pissed.
Sometimes I have issues with QuickTime. Let me shut it.
To go and watch this yourself.
Oh, there it goes.
It's July 13th.
Like, I don't care. I don't care. I know. Oh my God. She yelled at someone again. Wow. Shocker. Shocker at all the things. Shocker at all the things. Who gives a fuck? Why do you give a fuck? Quit it. There's like so much more shit going on. Like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. Is it all like, I'm like so surprised. Like, is it all new people who like have never seen her show before? That's what it is. That's what it's been. But she won't, wait, hold on. Egregious, let me see. Agreed, you're saying. Because she won't shut her mouth about people. Okay, so then what have we just learned then? If she won't, then do you keep doing it? No, right? Because if you know she's not stopping, she's not gonna, like, she's gonna respond every time and react every time. So what do you think is gonna, like, how is that gonna work?
She's going to respond every time. Jimmy knows that every time something is said about Jessica, Jessica is going to respond every time. Jimmy knows this. July 13th. He knows this before, but I just want to make that point very, very, very clear. Again, I want you to go and watch this stream for yourself.
One person. You loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Screen recording.
Uh-huh. What I'm doing now.
Guys, go take a picture of a fucking tree. Put
I
that
already
on
did.
your phone.
It's on my phone, actually. Quite a few of them. I'm surrounded by them.
Like, it's so much because it makes me not want to come on here.
Yes.
Jimmy, are you a turncoat now? Your entire channel is fun drama. Fun, operative word. This isn't fun. This
No.
is not fun.
No.
This is not fun
No. I
in the
agree.
least bit.
In the least bit.
Even a little bit.
Not
Because I
even
come
a
on and I
little
want to
bit.
do something fun, and but every single time for about a straight month, people are like, how come you're not talking about it? How come Jimmy's not talking about it? He should be talking about it. Why? Who gives a fuck? It's stupid. This is not what I speak about.
This is
I would
not.
never, ever focus my time or energy on.
I'm sorry,
something
Jimmy.
even
I
fucking
interrupted you.
you guys.
I can't
This
interrupt.
isn't about one person.
Went too far.
Because it makes me not want to come on here. Jimmy, are you a turncoat now? Your entire channel is fun drama. Fun, operative word. This isn't fun.
No.
This is not fun. This is not fun in the least bit, even a little bit. Because I come on and I want to do something fun, but every single time for about a straight month, people are like, how come you're not talking about it? How come Jimmy's not talking about it? He should be talking about it. Why? Who gives a fuck? It's stupid. This is not what I speak about. I would never, ever focus my time or energy on something so low vibrational in my fucking life. Don't you guys feel tired?
Okay, let's go over that last little bit. I didn't want to interrupt our king. Okay, how come you're not talking about it? Why aren't you talking about it? Like, you totally should be talking about it. Okay, so I went Valley Girl, but that's just me. Okay, this is not what I speak about. I would never focus my time or energy on something so low vibrational in my life. Now, I want you all to remember that this is July 13th, okay? Keep that in your, write it down in your notebooks. Write it down. Okay, so we're at July 13th. So Jimmy's not going to talk about anything that's so low vibrational. And I respected the shit out of that. I absolutely did. And I'm going to keep saying it once again. Go and watch this stream for yourself. Okay? Look at that. I am a goddamn rock star. 2918. Oh, fucking, I nailed that. I nailed it. Okay, here we go.
Like, Jolene spent a whole month on it. Well, I mean, what Jolene did was actually kind of, it was funny. And it was like refreshing because like she came in it and like looked at it this certain way and like was following it. But I think it got personal once Jess read her like diary or her article or whatever and tried to like say something about like tried to like come at her from like that direction. I think that's when the C Note album was written for Jolene. He's a comedian.
Okay. So Jimmy says that he knows Jessica, right? He said, before that he knows her very well. And earlier in this stream, we heard Jimmy say that Jessica is going to respond every time, right? Somebody says something about her, she's going to respond to it. Jolene, by this time, had been making all of these streams about her. Hours and hours and hours worth of streams. Jimmy, my question to you, bro, is did you not think that Jessica would take that personally? Do you not think that Jolene going after Jessica the way she was going after her, that Jessica wouldn't take that personally? If it was me, if somebody's coming after me like that, if Jolene's coming after me like that, the first motherfucking thing I'm gonna do is call the goddamn CIA and find everything about that person. Find out what their first fucking animal was. I'm gonna find out what color their first fucking car was. I'm gonna know the license plate number. She Googled Jolene. And just as what Jessica does is public, Jolene's diary, quote unquote, as you call it, was also public. So Jessica did what anybody would do. She Googled Jolene and she found all Jolene's blogs. Now, I know that everybody hates Jessica and doesn't think she has a heart or whatever, but Jessica does have a heart and she does feel. So she read through all of Jolene's blogs and she started to understand Jolene. She started to figure out why Jolene was doing the things that she was doing, right? Let's say that Jessica put a mirror up in front of Jolene. She put a mirror up to Jolene. Because if you've been watching Jolene for the past, I don't know how many streams, she's been online, 7 years on her YouTube journey. She's been there. And I had listened to her for, the past couple of months, and I did think she was funny. But I never heard Jolene be so hateful. And so Jessica went and she found these blogs and she read them and she understood why Jolene was being so fucking hateful. And the reason why is because Jessica's wearing white skates. And once again, Jolene has the brown skates. And what Jolene was going to do was make goddamn sure that Jessica didn't get to enjoy her white skates. Instead of celebrating her and saying, hey, you know what? You got the white skates. I had no idea about the white skates, but I'm glad that now I know that you guys like these and these are better than the brown skates. So maybe you can help me pick out my own pair. Do you want to go to the mall and maybe help me pick out my own pair of white skates? That'd be really cool. Wouldn't that be fun? Instead, Jolene says, "Cunt, you got white skates on. Nah, you're not allowed. You're not gonna enjoy them. No. I'm gonna make goddamn sure. And you know what? I'm gonna turn vicious and evil and mean and cruel. And I'm gonna do everything I can to make you feel as terrible about yourself as you possibly can. But here's my question to you, Jimmy. My question to you is, why does Jolene get to attack Jessica? And why can't Jessica respond to that? Why isn't Jessica allowed to respond how everybody in the fucking world knows Jessica's going to respond? Why can't she do that? And why did Jolene take it so personally? Why? Didn't you say earlier that we shouldn't be taking any of this personally? It's not personal, right? It's not personal. But Jolene sure took it personal, according to you. According to you, what Jolene was doing was jokes. I've seen Jolene go after 2 other YouTube creators. I've seen her go after 2 other YouTube creators. But you know what? And I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this thought. Jolene was never as cruel to those creators as she has been to Jess. She was never as evil as she was and has been and is to Jess. Never. And she went after some garbage people. She went after Trisha. And by the way, Jolene, you're just another version of Trisha. You fucking grifter. But we're going to do Jolene later. Anyway, again, back to Jimmy. Jess put up a mirror in front of Jolene. And my question is, what gave permission? Let's see. How did I write it? So what you're saying is Jess put up a mirror in front of Jolene and made Jolene see why she was doing and behaving the way she was behaving. And that is what gave permission to Jolene to be so cruel and harsh and go harder on her and write her C-Note album. She needed Jess to read her diary and respond with her diary for Jolene to somehow take that personally and respond just grossly. I mean, Jolene calls herself a feminist, and I keep going off on this Jolene tangent, but she fucking hates women. Jolene, it's very, very, very clear that Jolene hates women. And what she hates about Jessica, I think, is that Jessica lifts up women. Jessica doesn't try to hurt them. She lifts them up. Anyway, we're going to be done with this episode of Jimmy. I just wanted to point out that this is episode, again, I'm going to say it. This is episode 187, July 13th, Garbage Pail Humans. I want you to go and watch that. And again, I want you, the most important part of this video that I wanted to get across was that on July 13th, Jimmy said that he knew that Jessica would respond every time and that he would never focus his time or energy on something so low vibrational in his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you can say? What do you guys
think? Yeah. What's the chat think? I think that, without going into the next thing, with Jimmy, I was going to do, I think that, actually now that I'm thinking about it, that was July 13th. I think I already did this once. I don't have it up. Anyway, I have to look at that and add that in. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is part of the timeline. Because at this point, Jimmy has been pretty silent on everything and he was staying pretty chill. And like I said, I respected that a lot. And I was hoping that, he would stay that way. Everybody fucking was, because when Valerie decided that she was going to show the world who Jimmy was. We just didn't realize that that's what she was doing. And we all looked at it as a joke or whatever. Anyway, and Jessica, you know, she did that stream and she's talking about it. And we're all hearing in real time Jessica's heart fucking break in two. And all of our hearts are breaking in two because everybody loves Jimmy, right? Jimmy, he's Jimmy. And we loved that Jimmy and Jessica were streaming together and they were fun together. And so now, you know, everybody who knows Jessica, who's been listening to Jessica, knew exactly what was going to happen because there was no fucking way in hell Jessica was ever, ever, ever going to feel the way she felt about Jimmy before what had happened. She was never going to feel that way again. So everything was gone. And everybody kept saying in timeline, and it hurt my heart, but everybody kept saying, you know, I hope you two can heal this. I hope you two can fix this. And I was like, there's no fixing this, dude. There's no fixing it because you can't unsee what Jessica saw. You can't unknow what Jessica now knows. And anyway, and so, you know, and that's another example of Jessica's authenticity. You know, it's another example of her going through something with us. And if you know Jess, you're listening to, you're literally listening to her heart crack. You can hear it. And it's like, and it pissed me off. And all I kept saying, and this motherfucker, I'm going to come after you. I'm going to come after you later with this one. But everybody in the chat, the one word that I kept hearing, that I kept seeing over and over and over and over again in the chat was disappointing. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. That's what I saw in chat.
Right. Yep. So I did check the timeline. It's not there. You did say July 13th.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, do you guys remember when all of this started to go down? I think we were all waiting for Jimmy to address the drama. Okay. And he didn't. He may have been a little shady here and there, you know, doing it or whatever. But he never truly addressed it until later on. I'm kind of curious if he was one of the people who fielded that first round of, hey, can you do me a favor and stop doing shows on this bullshit message?
1,000%.
Yeah. And he abided. I don't think, you know, I think TV wanted us, everyone, to stop talking about it. And I think he abided. And that's why it took forever for us to truly hear how he was feeling about it.
And then I think he got another text message, probably, what do you say? July 25th, maybe? July 25th, he got another text message. I'm thinking he got another text message July 25th, or maybe before that. Because boy, like I said, I don't fucking want to do this, man. I don't want to do this because, like I said, I don't want to bring that person out in me. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to hurt Jimmy. I don't want to hurt Aiden. I don't want to hurt anybody. But if they're going to continue to come after Jessica, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect what I want, and I'm going to protect the queen. I'm going to protect the fucking queen. I don't want to fucking be that way. I really don't. And this isn't like a threat. I'm not trying to be badass or anything like that. I'm just saying, listen, I don't want to go through all of my notes. I don't want to, you know what? Like I said, JFK, Randy did a really good job on Aiden. He kind of calls Aiden out every fucking day, which is really funny. With Aiden, you know, it's his lies, his silly little lies about Jessica that drive me fucking nuts. He's like, I don't know what it was the other day when, she calls herself Turtle Girl. She told you know, she thinks she's Turtle Girl,
or
and
female turtle boy or something like that. She wanted
Something
to be
like that.
female turtle boy. I don't know.
Right. And I'm like, what? And he's like, and this is what this motherfucker says to his chat. He says, you all have heard it, right? All of you have heard it. It's everywhere. You've all heard it. I'm sure you've seen the clips. Okay. Now, by now, his chat, they've got stars in their eyes or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. I'm sure it's true. I'm sure that's true. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you've seen the clips, yeah, I'm sure, and they're not going to question God, they're not going to question the God. And, so, but it's that little shit. It's those little comments that, and what he's trying to do, like the bullshit he did today, let's go on this unsubscribe campaign. It's like, dude, and wasn't it you, Jimmy, who said, if you're fucking with my bag now, and that's when I get pissed? Well, why aren't you pissed at Jimmy for fucking with Jessica's bag? Because an unsubscribe campaign is fucking with Jessica's bag, is it not? Or do you pick and choose who you get mad at? What's fucking funny is I wonder when Jimmy is going to realize that Aiden is using him so hard, because Aiden no longer has the support he once had. The only way Aiden gets that support is if he brings the lovable Jimmy in, the one that everybody loves, the one that people don't see yet. And I don't want to show anybody who he is, because I want everybody to love Jimmy. I want you to treat Jimmy like your toy. He's a plaything. Don't take Jimmy seriously. Don't fall in love with him. He is a streamer. He is a toy. You play with Jimmy, and that's it. That's it. That as far as you go with him. But Aiden is absolutely using him because Jimmy's going to bring the crowds. Aiden sure the fuck ain't. Not anymore. But Jimmy will. Emily C will. Right? So it's really funny to me how now all of a sudden things have changed. Again, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to say, look, stop it. Just stop, man. Just stop. I don't want to go to war. I feel like we're already at war. I don't want to continue this war. I don't want to fucking drop an atomic bomb, but I will do it. And I have no fucking problem doing it. And, like I said, I just want, Aiden, you can stop being a fucking psycho and stop being a crazy fucking person. And, you think that telling somebody to die in a hole, is funny. And, in the beginning, when I liked you, I was like, that's funny. Cause one time he did this skit where he's like, die in a hole. And he's throwing dirt on this person. And he's like, oh, I can still hear you. Hang on, more dirt. And and I was laughing my ass off. I thought that was the funniest fucking thing. Until he started going after his own contributors, his own people.
Yep.
I got a message from somebody the other day who said, I have given a lot of money to Aiden. I have given a lot of money to him. But who that man is now is, she said, I can't even watch him. I can't even watch him. And, so, again, like I said, I just want all this to stop. I want Aiden to know. I want Jimmy to know. Will is a bottom feeder. I don't really consider Will anything. I just, because Aiden is using Jimmy as the grand finale, and I knew that they would. I knew that they would pull Jimmy out right before court, because Jess shines when she's doing court, right? And the trial was emotional. So, Jimmy hitting her during court was their grand finale. And then sending Jimmy after Jessica and, was going to be even more hurtful. And then this week with Jessica gone, I knew exactly what was going to go down. And to an extent, a lot of it has worked, and that's sad. I don't think any of it has worked on Kim. Like I said, Kim is smart and Montante is brilliant, also. And so So they're not stupid. They fucking know what's going on. They can see it for themselves. And, but there are other people who aren't. There are other people who are new or just don't see it. And I just, like I said in the beginning, if you were a bunny or a bestie or whatever we're calling ourselves these days, I like besties because you're all my best friends and my family and I love you. Um, you know, if, like I said in the beginning, if you were somebody who left the nest, who left us, I still love you. I see you in chats. I see other people in, and I miss you guys because Jessica didn't change, dude. Nothing changed about her. What changed about her is what these people put in your mind. And I know a lot of you don't see that yet. But, and I understand that, and I'm not trying to be condescending or anything like that, but that's what I'm going to try to help you see. And like I said, I don't want to help anybody see anything bad about Jimmy. And mostly I'm going to do Jimmy because Jimmy is the strongest. He is the one, he is the strongest. I think he is the one who, um, anyway, I'm just going to leave it there. But I have no problem doing it. Like I said, I don't want to. I just want everybody to stop. You know what, Aiden, you can change the way you're acting. You can go back to being, a nice person and, calling out the right people and not your supporters and not the people who cared about you. And, once, and you can do that and everybody can rally around you and we can all, fight for your freedom because you deserve it. However, like I said, and I'm going to say this again as another warning, there are laws on the books. That doesn't mean that's going to happen when you're in court, bro. I just, it blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind. Anyway, how's chat? How's chat doing? I can't see the chat. How's chat? I can't help
So
it.
the chat is talking about, I think, was it Bus Stop Live this morning or was it the live last night? I know I've received multiple reports that he sort of incited everyone to go unsubscribe from Jess. I'm seeing some conflicting things in the chat. Misty, did you listen by any chance?
I watched one of them. Let me pull up. I'm making a mistake by pulling up YouTube and you're going to be the first person who pops up. So I'm not going to look at that. And let me just, because I don't need to be freaked out by that. Okay. So Turtle Boy, let me go to Turtle Boy and I don't watch him anymore. So it'll be the only live that I've seen. And so, okay, I lied. I did watch episode, I watched his Breaking the Silence on Lauren Matthias. He talked a little bit about just in the end. I think it was the Bus Stop Live at the very end. I have it at 55. And I even, hey guys, guess what? I reported that stream because that's against terms of service. And I report the fuck out of all the streams. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I don't give a fuck.
I'm definitely seeing some confliction. Like, there's a lot of people that say, no, he did not say that. So.
He absolutely did. I heard the words come right out of his mouth. Let me, you know what? Hold on a second. Hang on. I hate hearing this man's voice. I have earbuds in and all kinds of stuff happening. Okay. Hang on 1 second.
You gonna pull the transcript?
You know what? That's a better idea. Let me do that. That's a better idea. I forget what I have access to. Thanks to that. Okay. All right. I forget. It happens. All right. Campaign. Did I spell that correctly? Hi, my name is Misty. I spelled that correctly for once. I'm not a good speller. It doesn't come up in that transcript. So let's see if it does it the other one.
Maybe try unsubscribe.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck. Now I got to bring up both. All right. Let me look at this one. I'll do both on this one and then I'll go back at the other one. You know what? Well, he says Jess on both, right? So, and then What about just paid? Okay. Yes. Because when I reported it as a violation of terms of service. It says 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 43 seconds. So there we go. So be right back.
What does it
Be
say?
2 seconds or two. Oh, okay. Wait, 303. He says massive unsubscribe campaign. Just unsubscribe to that, and it blanks it out because I guess if you call her a name. Anyway, let's see. Well, let's just go. Let's just go there. 303:43. 3, 4. Well, you can do it. Do you want to do it? Or you don't want to do it?
You sound like you're doing just fine.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. I'm going to turn my video up and probably scare the shit out of everybody, out of all
Oh,
my
you're
cats.
gonna
But
play-
that's okay. Hold on. Okay. Let me get close to where the hell the speakers are. Oh, here we go.
That's what we need a massive unsubscribe. Just unsubscribe to that shit. It's how can you honestly be like, oh, I support Ethan and Jess. How? How can you do that? How can you do that after seeing shit like this that I posted on? This is Rusty posted this today.
All right.
By the way,
So he's talking about Jessica there.
So how is that not against terms of service?
Yeah. They're not going to, you know what? They can take your subs. They're not going to take your channel away. They're not going to take your channel away. They're not going to take your channel away. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Anyway, but yeah,
So that was this morning.
no,
Is it-
that was episode, that was episode 898, August 5th. So that was last night. Okay. So that was his last night stream where he went over mostly Lauren Matthias, and he interviewed, I guess he interviewed the woman that Lauren Matthias, said was stalking her. And then he goes on to this, they think they've got this big gotcha with, the email and whatnot that you sent to, Kate or whatever. Anyway, so he's going over that, and he says, by the way, bro, all of this stuff, and Jessica, if she can show monetary loss, you should really chat, Aiden, with your lawyers. You should really, or they should be, I don't know where you're getting your advice from. I really don't, but I think all of you, you know what? This is how I'll say it again. Jimmy, why don't you have a problem with Aiden messing with Jessica's bag? When you're so pissed off about everybody messing with somebody's bag. Anyway. So.
All right. Well, Misty, I think we're good for part 1. What do you think?
I think so. I think 2 hours is good. I feel I'm a lot less nervous, which will help. Well, God knows how I'll feel after I watch the stream on on YouTube later. But I am a lot less nervous streaming now. I think it's
Yeah.
it's when you first, I guess the first time you do it, you're like freaked out and you think the boogeyman, I guess, is going to pop out of the closet and be like, oh my God. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's enough for now. Like I said, I just want everything to chill, and tomorrow we can go over the timeline, and basically just everybody who's asked for it, they can all understand how everything started and put it in, and then we can also, with the timeline, we can show the takedown, because in that timeline is basically the takedown.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I just added that one. It looks like we have now 4 months, April, May, June, July. We have 5 months now on the timeline.
You motherfuckers should be worried. I'm just saying. I mean, if somebody decides to make a call and, I got it all. We got it all. Basically, the case is put together. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I think you guys are stupid, but you do you. Anyway, we'll
All
leave
right.
it there.
Well, anything in closing? Thank you guys.
I love you, Bunny. I love you, bunnies. I love you, fam. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I don't know, like I said, I wasn't watching the chat, but I love all of you, truly. I can't be spicy without all of you. All of you are spicy. It's just, I happen to be the voice of us. That's it. So I love all of you. J7 fucking rocks. And, are you single?
You do that so well. I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Spicy Misty, for being here, for doing this with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Pleasure.
I know
Fun.
you had multiple requests for your first appearance. And you
God, everybody's been messaging me.
Yes.
Everybody.
Thank you.
But
we love you. We are so grateful for what you do for Jess. I know that for a fact.
Well, I'm grateful for all of you. And Jessica.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you,
And I
Mom.
miss you, Jess. It's time for you to come home. I mean, a week was maybe a little too long. A week was maybe a little too, I mean, I get you needed it, but, a week was maybe, that's again me being selfish. Maybe 3 days, 4 days, all right. 7 days, fucking a little too long. All right.
I think she's coming home tomorrow. So,
yay.
Safe travels, Jess.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
We will see you soon. All right, guys. It's been fun. Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
See you in the spaces.
All right. Good night, guys.
Oh, I haven't. Technical issue. I haven't set the outro.
No mic drop. Let me see. Are you single?
Spicy, misty. They call it prison misty. Spice girl with the CIA edge. Dirty work on Twitter. Prison mistake. She'll cut you. Call out the lies. Demand the receipts. Prison mistake. Protect the queen. No bullshit survives. Receipts or goodbye. is our goodbye.